Good evening. I've got an engine here that would make the third time I've had this particular type of engine. This is a Magnum XL52RFS. I got this in a trade with a really awesome member of RC Groups, someone I'd like to consider a friend of mine. We swapped engines. This is what I got. So he told me when I got it, or when we traded, that it was a used engine. Although, judging by the external appearance, it looks brand new. I mean, this thing is in impeccable shape. So that's why I'm going to just do a real quick look at it. I know it's been run because, well, first of all, Brandon told me it had been run, but not by him. He acquired it. I'm not sure how he acquired this engine, but you can see here that there's some carbon residue on this exhaust header. So it's been run at least once, maybe 2 times, I don't know. But that's part of what we're going to look at here and see if we can try and figure out. I love the Magnum engines. I've had 2 before, and they're just really fantastic running engines. Of all Magnums, the 52 is really my favorite. And as expected by the appearance, this thing looks basically brand new. It's got really good compression. And the tops of these rockers look really clean. Now I can smell that this thing has been run. So there's definitely no clue or no hiding the fact that this engine has been run. But I just do want to take a quick look inside the back plate anyway, and to do that I have to get this carburetor off. Now Magnum, these 52s, and I guess a lot of the Magnum engines, they went through a period of time where initially they were, the valve cover, the rocker cover was just, metal. It wasn't painted. Pardon me. This one just so happens to be a painted version, which means it's a later model. And that's kind of important because of what I'm going to show you here coming up shortly also. So let's see here. I can just take that intake right off there. Okay, cool. Gasket is free. And it's not broken. So that's sweet. Now this is kind of interesting. I don't ever remember this before, having such an issue trying to get in here. Oh, that's really odd. I just don't notice, I don't recall ever having such an issue trying to get the screw onto this thing. Luckily it felt like I was able to break it loose there, but that's weird. It's that carb barrel throat is really right in the way of trying to engage that fastener, which that's really odd. Oh, duh, what a dummy. That's because normally you take the... Geesh, it's been a long week at work. Long day. And that's why I'm brain dead. That's why you don't normally have that interference there, because you actually take the whole carb off. So let's do that. Let's actually do it right. Okay, ooh, wow, look, I can actually access something now. All of this, just to take a look inside this back plate. It's something I'm sure is just going to be quite nice looking. But what I want to see though is maybe this will tell us how long ago it was that this was run. If this was run maybe a year, months ago, inside of this crankcase could be dried up. Now it feels pretty smooth, but if there's liquid in there, then maybe it wasn't too long ago that this thing was run. So there's a very clear gasket here, and what are fuel residue. So here's the inside. I don't really see any pooling, but it looks about like I would have expected it to look. Nice and new in there. So this is a nice engine. One I'm going to hang on to, I think, unless something better comes along. But I really like these Magnum engines. I just hope it performs as well as the the other 52s I've had. Now, the one thing I wanted to mention when I referred to this blue valve cover, was that this engine is actually different than some of the other Magnum 52s that I've had, because they were the older model, and that difference can be seen right here. Now, this engine was a subject of another inside look and a couple other videos. This is a Kyosho, I think it's a, let's see here, it's a GX52F. GX52F, yes. Now, why I have this here now is because both of these engines were made in China at the same facility, the Sanye Manufacturing Company. And you'd like to think that Magnum, ASP, SC, and then this Kyosho engine, you might assume that, hey, they're made in the same factory, they're all exactly alike. Well, yes and no. They may be made to the same specs, but there are a lot of differences, because each company that markets these things really wants to have their own look on things. So you'll see there are some cosmetic differences to the outer cases, some of the molds and stuff like that. But the biggest one that I'm referring to is the carburetor. Now, this carburetor on this Kyosho and the older Magnums I had incorporates a throttle stop screw. Now, this one that I just took off, this 52, this Magnum 52, you'll see does not have a throttle stop screw at all. Now, it has, both of them have these screws that actually retain the barrel, but only this one has a throttle stop screw. This one does not. So that's the one big difference between this Magnum 52 with the blue valve cover and the other older ones that I had that did not have that paint, is that they actually had a throttle stop screw. To me, that's a pretty significant difference, just because of the fact that I run a lot of these engines on the bench, and I like to be able to set the idle using the throttle stop screw. And it's a lot more difficult to do that when the carb on the engine doesn't have that. So this really kind of just concludes the look inside. I really just want to kind of take a quick look inside here. There was really no other reason to do that. This engine is in good enough shape. I could have just done a box of the bench review, but when I was looking at it, I noticed the carb differences, so I thought, well, I'll just do a quick video showing this real quick. And by the way, off camera, I did remove that cover already, and I checked the valve lash. Now, I don't know if it had just loosened up for the time 1 or 2 runs that this had on it, but these rockers, or the valve lash, is not set to spec. It's actually greater than 0.1 millimeters, so it's a good thing I've got the cover off, because now I'm probably going to go ahead and set the valve lash on this engine, and then we'll get it on the stand here very soon and do a run and maybe do a head-to-head comparison with these two engines. So that concludes this quick look inside at this Magnum XL52RFS. Thank you for watching.